difference between a high performance teams and also a regular team. Okay, there's a difference, and the difference is something that we're going to see tonight in this presentation. Okay, so leaders' behavior highly affects how the team's performance functions. This is why one must really pay attention and evaluate the members of those teams, before they get empowered by you. High performance teams need to be empowered and need to be empowered by us, the leaders that are putting together these teams. And you need to really pay attention to that. It is essential to look at their motivations and their goals, or to find the distractions that prevent them from performing better. Because, see, the ideal case would be that they give me a team to rebuild, or they tell me from scratch, put together a team, and they allow you to work with HR to hire the powerful guys that you want in your group. So that would be the ideal case. It's been my experience in more than 40 years that you don't get the cream of the crop. They tell you, this is what you get, this is a team built on that, and you need to be prepared to begin a coaching journey with them until they become as good as they need to be. So have you ever come across a team that is self-motivated, that is inspiring, and is also joyful? A team that makes you feel that you are, part of it, that's the kind of team that you really love to have, because, a team that encourages you to achieve the goals that you desire is my kind of team. It should be the team of anybody that wants to be successful. So, on the other hand, you see teams that are not that way. They're teams that they're nothing but conflicts and disagreements every day. And you'll find this environment in which you're still trying to determine whether your opinion even matters, because these people are named the, quote, just a job employee, unquote, are obviously people that are, working for 8 hours, if not less. They criticize everything in the company, and they are not team players, So what is the difference? That's the important goal, the difference here. And I want to start out with looking at the question, why is it that the domains of those two type of teams are so different? So after I did a little bit of research, the difference was found in the leadership environment they operate. Okay? And that they are operating for a long time. So they're used to that monotony. So to become an extraordinary team, that team culture, including the leader, must be objectively analyzed and immediately improved. And here are some ideas to do that. Since the team starts with you, I'm going to recommend that this environment is the one that we all need to achieve. Team leaders should be an inspiration. Everybody knows, yeah, of course, you need to be a leader that inspires and everybody follows you, but people don't follow you if your credibility is not right. So since the leaders play a significant role in creating the pool of a high-performing team, they use a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Their enthusiasm and energy is very high. As a result, team members will remain inspired and motivated, because being energetic and enthusiastic makes others, to be the same way. Oh, I like this guy, I want to follow him, So why? Because you will make people to feel they are on a mission to achieve something, and they're doing something of great value, so they're going to follow you. Team leaders must maintain cooperation. What that means is conflicts can cause significant disagreements in a team. So leaders are responsible for instantly working on disputes and ensuring cooperation persists. They need to have an eye into any type of personality arguments, okay? Because often leaders believe that members are mature adults and they can manage conflicts. But look around and take a look how divided is our country. A clear failure of leadership, okay? So it is not true. Look around in South America. For those that come from Peru, look how they are. There's signs that this coming Thursday is going to be a battle between like a civil war there. So that's not a way to live. What happened is that our leadership up there, and I'm not saying politically, I'm saying in any institution, are beginning to cripple, and that is a problem. So if you think that you're going to trust in your team a leader to resolve their conflicts, think again, because they need a lot of coaching to do it right. High performance teams address the difference immediately. Team members, okay? This requires a tremendous involvement on part of the leader, bringing the members to the level of maturity to handle whatever dispute they have. So when people realize that other members are trustworthy and have their back, they want to resolve conflicts soon. Team leaders who emphasize and maintain cooperations instead of unhealthy competitions can achieve really outstanding performance for a team like that. You need to be focused on the extraordinary, because team leaders do. Employees don't like to do the usual thing day in and day out. They don't want to be like any other team or any other team member. The people that are really want to make the difference, they are always looking for something. And if you don't give it to them, if you don't make them part of a team, they soon get boring and you're going to lose that person. So leaders can then set stretch goals to motivate the team to achieve the extraordinary and focus on building high-performance teams. Okay, achieving something special allows team members to know they are exceptional and can challenge themselves. They gain a sense of satisfaction with their engagement and pride, increasing them to the next level of performance. Also, team leaders lead with clear communication. And in here, I want you to really focus on that, because it's all about clear communication. No, I didn't say communication. I said clear communication. Okay? Leaders of high-performing teams ensure that people remain on track. And for that, you need to communicate day in and day out. They frequently communicate the mission and vision so that no one gets distracted. So remember that you need to keep them on track as much as possible until they're completely ready, really, to be empowered. If they don't empower them until you are sure that this is the guy that you need in your team. Okay, still, a team leader's job is really to ensure that members do not lose track, of what they are heading, the goal, the performance goal. Now, team leaders also are trustworthy, and that means that the team leader must be responsible. If this is not the case, they will not be an inspiration to no one. So you need to really take your responsibility to heart, very serious. No one will want to involve themselves in conflicts, okay? So no one will believe in the goals set by any leader that is not trustworthy. You can see it all over the news right now. If you have somebody that cheated in their resume, somebody that cheat in their backgrounds, you know that there's something wrong. And I don't want that leader to be my leader or represent me anywhere else. So leaders must build relationships with their team members, among their team members. When we like someone, we tend to establish a sense of trust, okay? So leaders must have the proper knowledge or experience, and that is important. Dwelled on your ability to manage, but also on the ability to resolve problems and do process your decision making. That way they learn this and they say, oh, you know what, my boss really makes sense, I'm going to follow him. Lastly, we must be consistent. If you promise a meeting by tomorrow at 1, you must be there. If you have a lecture at 7, you must be there. That's the kind of thing that it will start, people start building rapport and still start looking at you and say, this guy, this is the kind of leader that we like to have. So remember, working with high performing teams means growth for the team member and the organization. You must exert and act in a manner that builds high performance teams with a high performance culture. So now we're going to look at the fundamental conditions for high performing teams. What are the conditions to build this? The world in which business operates today is a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's something that we know in business by the name of VUCA, VUCA. Business leaders might need special skills and strategies to navigate their organization to succeed in missing deadlines. And the list of missing really goes with all of the VUCA on the VUCA world. Okay, so the question is, what are the methods that managers need to use to create a high performance organizational culture? Remember, this is about the culture that you're building in it. And if some people are not in the same frequency with you, you need to coach him and bring him to that realization that they are there to perform. If they don't have the energy and your energy is not contagious in him, then maybe you need to reconsider and relocate him and get another person that really wants to succeed. For an organization, then, to be creating a good team, the fundamental condition is trust and a safety environment. Okay. Those are the organization's operational parameters. Trust and safety are necessary ingredients in any new organizational culture. Although every manager has personal practices and strategies, I know that, to achieve their full potential, most responsible managers agree that safety and trust are the cornerstones of high-performing cultures of their teams. So that is. So what do we recommend? Well, we recommend strategies. What are those strategies? And also actions. Well, treating everybody equal with respect. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Contemporary, I jump. They are necessary. And the strategy is the following: treating everyone equal with respect. Be clear on the job requirements and expectations, and also be transparent and provide knowledge and information for them to succeed. Those are the 3 columns that I want you to follow, because when a person looks at the leader, they are looking for somebody that treats them with respect, that they understand the requirements of the whole team and yourself and the expectations, and also that your team leader is transparent and that also provide information to them that are going to make them succeed in their careers. Any questions until here? Hi, Gary. We're going to move to the next slide. Are you ready for a high performance team? Anyone wants to volunteer and let me know if they're ready? I know that I am. Okay, Gary, are you ready? Not yet. Okay. While the actual outcome and revenue are important, the efficiency and performance of a manager. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Here we go. While the actual outcome and revenue are important, the efficiency and performance of a manager can really be evaluated by the morale of their team members. Do the employee feel satisfied, motivated, and happy? If yes, that means that they have a good manager. It would be best if you keep them inspired and motivated. So get ready and rise to the occasion and get into that beat of inspirational, that you need to be getting all the energy to them, that you need to really inspire and make them happy. Okay, but how do you encourage and inspire employees? How do you motivate them to perform their best day in and day out? Still trying to figure it out? Well, don't worry. It starts with you, sir, the leader. But you must build their trust before you can inspire them. Therefore, the first step in the culture change for you and me is to review the following. Show your trust. Remember, you are now the servant, the motivator, the coach, and the facilitator. And no time I said the manager. I said you're the servant, the motivator, the coach, and the facilitator. And your goal is to inspire future leaders to be better than you. You see, to begin showing your trust. Okay? You need to. One of the most important and impact ways of inspiring your employees is demonstrating that you have faith in their skills and their abilities. Okay? But you also need to be alert. You don't want to really step into their thinking process and their decision-making process, but you need to watch them carefully to understand if they are ready to do what you assign them to do. Okay? Offering them rewards. You need to incentivize employees with a prize when they do a good job. This way, they are more likely to perform well again and earn earn that reward. Rewards and appreciation, after all, are one of the oldest tried and tested ways of patting someone's back psychologically. So try to follow that. And remember, incentives don't necessarily need to be money, okay? They can be a free lunch, they can be movies for tickets for a movie, they can be gift cards, event passes, or even an afternoon off. So just think about how to reward them well. Caring for their future. How do you do that? Well, employees love to see when you, the leader, invest and help them in small ways, such as mentoring programs, training courses, or in the on-the-job coaching. This conveys that you are really worried about their careers and their future. Apart from skills improvement and knowledge enhancement, invest in employees' careers, ensures that employees are interested in staying in your organization for a long shot. They feel you allow them to develop and improve their performance, okay? So as employees learn and grow, your company will also touch new heights of performance. You need to add to their purpose. Everyone likes it when their work is of value, no matter the task and the employee's position. Show them that the work they do matters. So you need to give them a purpose in the task that they are about ready to accomplish for you. Tell them how their work is beneficial for the company and what the results of their work are. This will help them boost their morale, obviously, and also increase their motivation levels. That is very important, okay? Make them practice in significant decisions. What does that mean? Well, employees get very discouraged when they are not involved in essential decisions that company makes. It gives them the feeling that they are not being wanted and being unimportant in that team. So what can you do to avoid this? Well, ask employees for their inputs and opinions. When you ask them for information, they feel attached to you. They feel attached to the team's purpose. make them feel like they belong to the company. It will also establish loyalty and make them work harder. Guess for who? For you. Okay. In today's market, is highly competitive. You can lose that guy in a heartbeat. You do not want to do that. And of course, how can you do it? With the 3 pillars of trust. You need to cultivate them and change their chip in their minds, if you would, by showing them competency, integrity, and benevolence, showing that you're good of what you do. So showing that you're competent in what you are talking about. If you're an electrical engineer, showing what you are. If you're a chief financial officer, showing that you can trust them. You can trust them making decisions with you. Prove that you can do the job and manage the team well, and they will follow your steps with integrity, showing that you do what you say you will do. As a manager, you will keep your promises and don't hide anything from your team. So when you do the promises, yes, next Friday we're all going out for pizza. Please do not come back and say, oh, they don't let us go. No, you need to accomplish. Don't make any promises you can accomplish. So clear with your bosses and you can take them out. What is benevolence? Benevolence. Do you need to show them that that you have their best interest at heart? Okay. As a manager, you are genuinely care about your team succeeding on an individual and also as a group level, but particularly in an individual, if you're selecting the person that you want. Creating a high-performance team. The first step to developing a high-performance team model is to create their stability. That means you must carefully choose the best team members for your goal, okay? Be transparent. You just need good people in your team that you can trust it, because high-performance team in a team environment means more than just high productivity. It's more than just that. It is a group dynamic that combines energy and enthusiasm with respect, responsibility, and expertise among the team members. So while teams may seem to come together naturally, frequently they result from their leaders' deliberate actions and objectives. So a high-function team continues to progress no matter the project's challenges. So considering who you select, okay, and try to get the commitment of their supervisors so they don't get distracted. To do this, all begins in their communication skills, okay? It is essential for you to consider how practical and professional the communication skills are for the people you want in your team. This is necessary. Why? Because it's necessary to communicate on a high-performing team constantly. So your team's potential people need to be able to state their concerns and thoughts and ask for help. They need to be good communicators. If they're timid people, work with them. Help them to come out of the shell. You'll see that once you get them going and they come out of their shell, you may be surprised, you know? So notice if they regularly are attending meetings. Watch them if they contribute with their opinions in meetings, team meetings, and informal team meetings. Communication is necessary because you need people who will give direction or ask for help when they need it. So add a few dependable people to the team and see how they function together. Once you pick 2, 3, see how they talk. Are they clear? Are they objective? Remember, someday when you are sick or on vacation and the executive team wants to hear from your team and you're not there, one of them will represent you. And you want somebody that can come clear, that can be objective, and that can communicate and create that atmosphere of credibility. So the executive team say, oh, well, this team is good, So that, remember that. Strengthen the relationships on the team when you get them all together. Start looking at them and start seeing, you want to create a sense of trust with everybody on the team, but you want to see them perform among them, which, with all of the problems that are at work, I'm sure that you guys will find issues in where they both people in your team will differ in their minds, and they will their minds of their own, so they're going to be discussing issues. See how they communicate, because that's how you're going to see them when you're not around. They're going to communicate the same way with their clients. So having a strong communication skill is critical, and that is why I selected to do this very, very fast slide. Interpersonal communication. There are many forms of communications, of course, but here we all review interpersonal communications as they are the most used by managers and leaders of any industry. Everybody knows about the verbal communications. The only thing I can tell you is just, use a strong, confident speaking voice. You don't have to be sounding as strong as an anarchy leader. You just need to be firm. I guess I should say use firm, confident speaking voice, especially when you're presenting information to a few or a group of people. Be sure to use a firm voice, not a mean voice, a firm voice, so that they and everybody else can easily hear you, and be confident when you're speaking so that your ideas are clear and easy for others to understand. Use active listening. The other side of verbal communication is listening, okay? And you need to listen intensely. You need to hear others. Functional listeners develop this listening skill, which are essential when conducting a meeting, presentation, or one-on-one conversations. Doing so, you will help you grow as a communicator and the other person as well. Avoid filling words. What does that mean? It can be tempting, especially during a presentation, to use filler words such as like, so, oh yeah, while it might feel natural after completing a sentence or pausing to collect your thoughts, it can also be distracted to your audience. So just try to avoid the filler words. Try to present it well. The nonverbals, when everybody knows that, notice how your emotions feel physically, throughout the day, of course, as you experience a range of emotions from energized to bored to happy and frustrated. Try to identify where you feel that emotion within your body. And what I'm trying to tell you here is you need, at one point in life, to be able to manage your emotions. Did that ring the bell to some of you? You need to develop competencies that only can be found through the exercise of emotional intelligence. Okay, so this is something that you need to think about it, and you need to really come and join us in classes that will allow you to become more empathetic with people so you can create relationships. Be intentional about your nonverbal communications. Try to display positive body language when you feel alert, open, and optimistic about your surroundings. Use body language alongside verbal communication, such as asking follow-up questions or pulling the presenter aside to give feedback. Mimic nonverbal communications you find compelling. If you find certain facial expressions or body language beneficial to a particular setting, use it to improve your nonverbal communication. That's important. Visual, as others before, including visuals. That means if you're considering sharing a visual aid on a presentation or an email, considering asking others for feedback. Once you're done, tell them, what do you think about this? Adding visual can sometimes make concepts confusing or mud, you know. So considering always checking with somebody. Consider your audience. Be sure to include visual aids that are easily understood by your audience. Ensure you select graphics that are correlated to the definition of what you're trying to present. And there's an example on this display, on this slide. Now the written communications, and that is important, you need to strive for simplicity. Writing communication should be as simple as possible. Look for areas where you can write as clearly as possible for your audience to understand. Don't rely on tone, because you need to have a nuance of verbal and non-verbal communication. Be careful when you're trying to communicate in a specific writing style. So you can come out, people can read your emails and think that you are mad. You can detect the temper of that person depending on how you write your email. So keep your writing as simple and plain as possible, and follow up with oral communications where you can add more personal to follow up your email. Take time to review your written communications. That's something that I keep working, and it's very difficult because you're so used to, and your schedule is so compressed. You say, okay, here's the email, bah, and then you go, oh my God, I didn't want to say that. So take time, reviewing, checking, one, twice, especially if the people that you're sending are your superiors or your managers. Keep a file of writing for your compelling and enjoyable. But I will say keep a file because you can trace what you said, okay? I normally, for every project I did, I had the name of the project on a file, and inside I put drawings. I built a drawing file, I built a email file, and in there, it was the only way I was able to do it virtually, because I don't talk. I was not able to talk directly every time, and sometimes John or Pete will call me and say, "Ray, you remember you said this the other day," and you can run back there and look at that. I used to save all of my virtual recordings to make sure that people are saying that what I said was right. So my advice to you is do that. And here on the right hand, the type of communications are there. Since I'm going to send this video after we finish, I recommend you look at them as well. So let's talk about now developing high-performance teams. High-performance teams combine strength, skills, and super focused attitude to surpass competitors. Both startups and multinational credit the successful management of high-performing teams with cultivate better profits, improve company's culture, and increase productivity. Okay, so to start doing this, you need to begin by focusing on how to develop this team. And the number one thing is lead high-performing teams with goals, okay? Creating a stretch goal in one way for a high-performing team to focus on their success. Stretch goals involve expectations that exceed current performances and motivate the team to complete even the most challenging task, okay? When people on high-performing teams achieve the stretch goal, they will probably take pride of what they did. So do that. Learn to fix conflicts in high-functioning teams. High-functioning teams know how to resolve dispute efficiently and quickly. A strong team knows how to get along and how to allow for difference, but with respect. So disagreements can be productive and lead to creative ideas. Remember that. By integrating the two sides, people may develop an even better view and benefit the overall project. So when disagreements arise, it's best to have these conversations when each person is calm, so the talk remains respectful, and try to learn other people's opinion. And listen, I learned through my years of career management that sometimes is really be honest with yourself and say to yourself, you know, what so and so said makes sense, and give in, because you need to accept that his idea or her idea is better than yours. Okay, that's important. Communicate the vision and direction. Keeping your team members focused on the project vision can minimize distractions and make the mission much more manageable. So when you want to keep your team member focused on a project, regularly revising the goals, directions, and visions can be very helpful. So meet with them regularly. Encourage trust among high-performing team members. That's a must. We need to learn to encourage other people to trust each other. The first pillar teaches us to cultivate trusting relationships. You could host bonding experience with the team outside work. Outside work activities can be as simply as go to a happy hour with them or get more involved in activities like a weekend retreat. Okay, be knowledgeable. Wow, be knowledgeable. The second pillar here on this encouraging trust is the expertise or your knowledge that you provide. People with a good understanding of their industry are the best resources in times of need. So everybody will turn to them because they can provide reasonable solutions. So showing that your expertise and showing the other ones that can also share their expertise can assist you and can assist the members to take any challenge. And of course, it will increase their trust. Be consistent, okay? Be consistent. This pillar of trust is consistency. If you tell others you will do a task, complete it promptly, so they know that they can depend on you. And for crying out loud, when you summon a meeting in the conference room, please be the first one to show up and get ready, okay? It will show them, oh my God, this guy is on the money. Show them that you follow through with what you say you will do. The last point in focusing is coach a team and not as individuals. When you talk to a team, it is beneficial to address them as a whole team, not just as a group of individuals, okay? This creates a sense of unity and makes everyone wants to work together efficiently. When coaching the team, talk to them about their behaviors and their habits. Be transparent, how they affect the team positively or negatively, or how their actions are impacting the team. So focus on those things and make a robust plan. The plan needs to be, you need to point out the positive and the negative attributes. Just like I said before, recognize positive characteristics or accomplishments makes members feel needed on the team. However, if they have traits like interrupting others, affecting the team, tell them that you would like them to improve so the team flows more smoothly. Of course, when I said tell them, I did not mean tell them in the middle of that meeting. You can put them on the side and just nicely explain to them, try to not interrupt too much so others, are free to speak. Identify and discuss them how to improve this issue. Make sure to hold everyone to the same standards. This is a very important one. Everybody on the team should follow the same rules. Remember that. People are more willing to hold fast to standards if they see others doing the same. You can do this by being the team member or by being the team member you want others to be. Respect others. Actively participate in meetings and contribute to positive ideas. During the team meetings, rearrange the city. That's another thing that we learn because you want to make them trust each other. Change the seats. we're creatures of habits, and we walk into a meeting and what are you doing in my seat? Nobody is seat. You just, if they do that, change their seats because you want them to merge and mingle and see how they will develop their abilities and their expertise, and better yet, how they share their expertise. Okay, so if you see somebody in there that is the kind of people that are fearing on losing their job because he is the expert, you may want to have a one-on-one with him and make them understand that sharing is the right thing to do, so other ones can grow. That you need to start with the basics in teaching them. Choose a comfortable space that encourages conversation. Okay, please don't let the management give you a room 4x4, no bathroom, no displays, no camera. You need to find a place that is big enough so everybody can feel, members can meet comfortable, they can focus on goals, they can communicate better, and trust to help form a high-performing team that will lead to a fun and rewarding work environment. So that is what you need to focus. Now, if you think that they're ready to empower, and you already know that this group is the group that you really think that you're going to call the A-team, like we call them all the time up there, well, now it's time to start thinking about empower them. According to recent estimates, over 80% of the Fortune 500 companies utilize team-based structure to organize work. So most employees are involved in some form of teamwork as a fundamental part of their jobs. So as we look into this year, 2023, leaders must understand that one of their most important responsibility, will be to empower others to work independently but towards a common objective. High-performance teams members must be empowered as they welcome the new culture change. Yeah, because these people are about ready to have a slap of changes and they need to be ready. So once you prepare them for a couple months and you see their behavior, then you need to start thinking about employee empowerment, okay? So employee empowerment means employees' involvement that matters with responsibility and ownership. That means ownership. They take it to heart. It's my responsibility now to speak for the team, okay? We could describe it as a controlled transfer of authority to make decisions and act. The successful implementation of empowerment requires a change in corporate culture that will understand the why, quote unquote, to be able to apply guidelines. So weighting the impact of decisions on all affected stakeholders is just something that he is going to have to do. Making more trade-offs, not less. So you're ready there to argue or present your points of view, try to compromise, but also stand firm and make more trade-offs, no less. Understand that if it's this is an earned privilege, and it's not a given right. So you need to look at all the members and say, this guy understands that that is a privilege what he's doing, and that is not his right to just go up there and do whatever he wants. It is an investment, in other words. Leaders must give power away because power is an expendable pie. Power is not a zero-sum commodity. It requires the leaders you have less for others to have more. So you have to give the power, and as power is transferred, you need to, how can you say, you need to go down so he can go up. You need to minimize your power so he can develop his. You must give power to gain power. So how do you do that? Well, as the process starts, you should set up new projects for them to perform before they become members of the elite team. So here they are. Start by assigning essential tasks. Monitor their decision-making process as they interface with other peers, other supervisors, other clients inside and outside the organization. Okay? Provide autonomy and discretion. Studies show that workplace autonomy increases an employee's job satisfaction, motivation, creativity, and the overall well-being. So be very discreet while their independence takes place and monitor their performance. Give visibility and recognition. By recognizing their accomplishments as they occur, you show the empowerment employee that you pay close attention to their progress and notice their hard work. Therefore, their commitment for the team and for you grows on them. Build the strong relationships that brings results. The characteristic that distinguishes star performance from mediocrity is spelled and is given by the emotional intelligence competencies. Emotional intelligence will help the new and empowered employee to create better relationships and increase their ability to recognize their emotions and the emotions of others. So teach them to be empathetic with others so they can roll with the ball, as they say. I put it here, the benefits of empowerment. You can read it when I send the video, but they, of course, know they increase productivity, they increase enthusiasm, they increase morale and motivation, they bring higher quality service, they improve teamwork, they increase healthy competitiveness, and decrease emotional impact of restructuring, like drastic unforeseen changes. And by God, once you start a team, they're going to see culture changes. Okay, just before we finish, I need to make sure, that since the pandemic, workplaces have changed from technology disruptors to the rise of remote work and the need for greater agility. Measuring what makes a great workplace still needs to be done no matter where the team is. If we must generate and require the skill to build high-performing teams that operate remotely, we must start by defining it. So what is? Well, let us first define how corporations are structured to function effectively. Work groups of various sorts are the fundamental building blocks of an organization. What I mean? In traditional organizations, these groups would be functional departments, like sales department, engineering department, quality assurance department, the maintenance department, the manufacturer or the production department. And when you build your team, you need to consider one member, the best member of each department, because they can bring the feedback from their departments to the group, and that team will grow together. That's what we did in Anheuser-Busch in the 90s. We creating work groups. Okay, that was the first TPM things that we did. And we have one from quality, one from maintenance, one. And by God, once you do that, grab yourself, because they're going to take you in a journey that you've never seen. Okay, all the engineers work in the floor. Nobody work in offices. We all were in the floor. So, okay. Yeah, I forgot what I said. Oh, yeah. However, in recent years, many companies have begun to move toward work styles that is explicit cross-functional and built upon flatter organizational structures. So at the executive level, you need the plant manager, you need the other managers, you also need the guys from finance, and all of those guys that they need. You definitely need a controller in your meeting. So start thinking about that. So instead of traditional function areas and hierarchies, these companies are moving towards team-based structure, where groups can take responsibility for a particular organizational deliverable. In an era of increasing globalization, my friends, international trade and fast communication networks, these teams-based structures may consist of members located in different building cities and continents. That is what they call, and we call, virtual teams. And it's all about collaboration. Virtual teams are a fact of business life for most of us. Running them effectively is fast becoming a significant challenge because there is a widespread review in business that virtual teams are poorly managed. How? Well, you will understand why. We have the yeah, I've been a member of a couple times of teams, virtual teams. Sometimes I felt like somebody did not pull, his weight, and I was doing more. So keep that in mind, okay? Because that's what creates that people start thinking that managers are doing a poor job on virtual teams. But building relations are perhaps their biggest challenge. Also, it's complicated to build shared sense of purpose over reliance on electronic communications and low cohesion and trust. So overall, the general feeling is that virtual members are less satisfied with the team experience than the team's members that are working in the location. Nevertheless, companies are discovering how to make virtual teams work. Here it comes. We have found a direct correlation between collaboration excellence and business results. Of course, technology is vital to connecting virtual teams. Assuming that your company has the necessary technology to succeed, the only issue left is time-honored focusing on interpersonal skills and process disciplines. You know what that is? They are the nuts and bolts of collaboration, which are critical when you're dreaming solid results from virtual teams. Now, bear in mind this, you need to strike a balance because it's not going to be easy. If you have a team that works virtually, you need to keep a balance on three major factors: results, process, relationship. Okay? Results are the output of the team. And typically, the bottom line of the company, that's what they measure. So that's important. It is essential not to lose sight that the leader's attention to process and relationship concerns will also impact the team ultimately results. So process relates to their desire for predictability and influence. Relationship is about the need for rapport. How are they treating you? How they are treating, is the treatment makes you feel valuable, included, and saved? That's important. Now, heads up, when these three columns that I mentioned are out of balance, team performance suffers. Remember that. So we're going to conclude tonight's presentation by just giving you some ideas. I'm going to just read it for you. That building trust in this type of teams are a slow process, but it can be done. And if you're a leader that you're in charge to have a team that is going to work virtually, you need to be transparent. You need to prioritize channels. You need to share the goals and the results with the whole team. You need to create a shared calendar. So because it's virtual, you have many, Microsoft, Team, Microsoft, all of those. You can create a calendar that you can share with your team only. And you can use program management software like, we used to use Microsoft PM, Program Manager, and where we build a schedule and we assign tasks to different people in that schedule, and everybody goes and check and say, oh my God, I'm running behind this. And you need to do that. You need to meet with them at least at the beginnings once a week, and then once a month, and then once every quarter. Okay, but you need to use the one-on-ones for trust because it helps achieving goals, and you need to help them achieve their goals. Give construction feedback and also ask for your feedback to you, but it has to be a constructive feedback. Remember that. Okay, I was discussing this with Carlos yesterday, and he brought some information to me that I really oversaw, but it got to be descriptive and objective feedback. You need to give a feedback, know about the personal feedback. You need to give the feedback of the results, okay? You need to manage conflicts, act early, of course, do this quickly, as soon as possible, and you need to really bring both sides and listening to them. You hold everyone accountable. It's basically the same philosophy, building a team in a place. The only difference in here is that you need to define the team roles. You need to tell them your, your expectations. You need to create a work from home policy. For all of those that work from home, sometimes I work in the office, you stand up to go to a bathroom call, and then you lose track and end up in the kitchen picking on the lunch coming up. And then before you know it, you lost 30 minutes doing something that you need to be disciplined about that. So you need to create a policy that they will follow. Of course, they will say, well, how do you find out? Well, if that is the kind of team member you have, you need to think twice, because you need people with commitment. Have regular check-ins, All of a sudden, you just call, hey, oh my God, my boss is calling. You run from the kitchen, sit down. Yes, boss, I'm here. Hey, what did you know? How far have you gone? Can you show me what you do? That type of thing, it builds rapport. And of course, it doesn't have to be embarrassing him. You just make it a coincidence. You need to embrace mistakes. Keep a cool head. Yes, we are all humans. We all make mistakes. So just remember that you're going to understand that sometimes mistakes are going to happen. And so just be cool about them, embrace them. Don't jump into conclusions. Don't take over the mistake. Let them explain it, and then provide guidance, which are the basis for coaching. Okay. You also need to create a culture of gratitude. That's very important. So you need to, when the team member feels like they don't matter to you, it is hard for them to trust you. So recognize them, Timely, don't wait to speak up. Get in the habit of showing appreciation as soon as you notice an accomplishment. And be specific. A good job is nice to hear, but it's very ineffective. Why don't you try something like, excellent work, John, finishing that extra project. I know it's tough to take on extra work when you already have so many tasks to do, many responsibility. But I want you to know that I'm proud of you for keeping this on time while you kept up with other priorities. You are the bomb. That sounds much better, huh? Well, try to do that. Appropriate. The type, an amount of recognition should be appropriate for the accomplishments. Make sure you give achievements the attention they deserve without going overboard. Please don't go out there, giving them expensive things. It doesn't take much to reward somebody. So encourage them. Gift cards, bonus, donations to their charity. There's so many ways to do that. Support their well-being, okay? Encourage the people to take time off. Hey, if you see that this guy's been working for the last 8 months with non-stop, tell me, hey, are you ever going to take vacation when you take time off? They'll get surprised, but that's what you need to do, because people get tired. They call him burned. You don't want your team to be burned. Be flexible. So instead to have a fixed schedule, be flexible. If they call it, hey, Rick, I cannot do this by the day we set it up. No problem. When can you get it done? That. Consider what the client is expected, and always schedule, giving yourself 3-4 weeks of cushion in case your member needs to push you out. So you need to be flexible. And provide a well-being budget. That's also in. I'm going to want to finish this by saying that you need to organize a virtual team retreat. Try to get together in person at least once a year is very, very hard for virtual teams, especially during pandemics. But you need to. You need to find a way. Try to organize a virtual team retreat. For 3 days, you and your team can be bonded over cooking classes, gaming sessions, you name it. Okay? These events are a great way to build the trust within your team. So you need to begin by asking the team what they would like to do. You know, I know that you would probably like to be doing some things, but it's not about you, it's about your team. So involve them in the planning process. Ask them the kind or what kind of activities they would like to do. Create a list of events. I created a list and then I built a schedule and where I assign this game is going to be Patrick. You're going to take on this team, and Luis. You are going to do the jumping and the stabilization on the boards. You see that picture below. So there's Patrick, the blonde, handing people by their hands. So they need to be assigned and then the schedule, and of course, get the right tools. If you're thinking about the tools of playing games or do gamers, you can even do it remotely. Then set up a dedicated Microsoft or Zoom platform to keep all of your related tree communications in one place during your gaming sessions. Okay, so if you are all together in the field and you have your laptops, I don't advise to take that to the field. You can tell them that this coming Saturday we're going to get together and we're going to be playing a gamer and see who will respond. If they don't like it, you can have one of those meetings, chef meetings, and learn how to cook or something. That concludes tonight's presentation.